What's going on, guys? This is the Red Politician, and if you are new, please like, comment, and subscribe because there's so much new content coming out on the channel, especially for the coming days. So, today's video, we're going to be talking about Maine and the state of Maine, and more particularly the Senate race, because there is a governorship election coming up, but it's not really that competitive. Democrats will probably win it by upper singles, but the Senate race is very competitive because you have a long time incumbent, Susan Collins, who is kind of a rhino, but it's like she's in the D+7 state, or at least D+7, because I believe that was Kamala Harris's margin in 2024, and Biden won the state by 9 points. And Susan Collins, she's our rhino. She's a rhino, but she's our rhino. And she is a very big historic overperformer when it comes to this. Because as you can see, we have a poll that shows Graham Platner is up by 9 points. And this reminds me, and again, I think this will be her closest election for sure. This will be very close compared to her previous elections. And this reminds me a lot of 2020 because, Gorin or whatever was like not a bad Democrat whatsoever. Actually, I would say he was a pretty strong Democrat in 2020. He had wide name recognition. He was well known in 2020, and I'm sure you know that's a presidential year where Donald Trump lost the state of Maine by 9 points, damn near 10 points. And all the polls showed Susan Collins losing. I think nearly every single poll showed her losing in 2020. And as you can see, Susan Collins defied all odds and won by 9 points in 2020. So there was a ticket split of damn near like 20 points. Like Susan Collins just overperformed drastically compared to Donald Trump in 2020. And again, the thing is, Susan Collins, even though she's kind of a rhino, she has a lot of crossover appeal for like the credential class, the professional, like white collar working class who aren't socially super woke, but are still Democrat, but they're like principled Democrats. They're not like electing crazy people, even though in 2020, Gorin wasn't really, I would say, crazy person, at least compared to Graham Platner, because as you can see here in a second, I'm going to show you guys some of the things he's been saying and just how just weird this guy is. This guy is a carpetbagger. I mean, he truly is a carpetbagger. And again, I think Susan Collins, it'll be close. I think she'll win by anywhere from 2 to 5 points. But like, Democrats really think this guy's like a like electoral juggernaut, and he's like your average oyster farmer or whatever. When this guy is like I would say rich, like not even upper middle class, but like a rich nepo baby who just portrays himself as like a who portrays himself as like this working class dude when again he's a nepo baby and like grew up rich like he did, and he's like a Bernie Sanders socialist larper who's pretending to be a moderate. Like this guy is nowhere near a moderate, and again he's not the nominee yet, but as you can see on Wikipedia, this guy is winning all the primary polls. Now this is the latest poll in like University of New Hampshire. Like this is before. I mean, that's the thing though. Like there's been dirt on this guy for weeks, and he's still leading all the primary polls, even if there's been dirt on this guy for weeks, if not months at this point. And again, I don't think Janet Mills, she dropped out like a couple weeks ago, and honestly, she didn't drop out because the primary is on June 9th, which is ample time for this guy. It was just definitely time if she didn't drop out a couple weeks ago for her to possibly get the nomination. Honestly, I'm happy she isn't. Even against Susan Collins, I think she would still lose because she's unpopular governor statewide. But it's like there's so much dirt on this guy, like texting and sexting 6 different women while married, by the way. The whole moral portrayal about Ken Paxton being this like immoral guy because he cheated on his wife, which is immoral, by the way, in Texas. But like this guy's sexting 6 different women. Like this guy's a weirdo. This guy's using like weird like dating apps, and I'm not saying this guy is using this dating app or this sexting app or whatever and saying, and that's like, because again, apparently it's like websites like for is known for like kidnapping and child pornography. Like that is a little lofty. Again, I'm not saying he's a pedophile or anything. I'm not saying that. We can't make these claims without evidence, of course. But it's like this guy has just so much dirt. I mean, his deleted Reddit accounts of being like this pro-violence, like 3 or 4 years ago, like this pro-violent Antifa crazy person making fun of a soldier for apparently like trying to survive, and he's like panicking or whatever, and like because he's in line of fire or whatever, and like Platner comments, I've never seen such a dumb mother effer survive, like he deserved to die or something, like, and like he wanks himself in like porta pies, he gets aroused, like this guy is a crazy person, like this guy is so crazy, and it's like Democrats really think this guy's gonna win in Maine. Like even before all this dirt came out about the guy, said the guy's overrated. He's like a fake moderate who's like a Bernie Sanders socialist crazy person. But I said like, okay, maybe there's a shot, he could win. But now this guy has so much dirt. And by the way, it's like the voter base in Maine, it's like they're liberal, but they're not like California, Maryland, or like New York crazy. They're not like Zoran Mondani liberal type of crazy people. They're not like Gavin Newsom crazy. They're not AOC crazy. These are like very, I would say, I wouldn't say traditionalist, but like your kind of professional, white collar, like genuine moderates, and they're not going to elect this Platner dude even before all the dirt came out on this guy. And the sad thing is, I do think this election will be close if Platner gets the nomination, which I think he's certain of getting, by the way. But like this guy is just so much dirt, and it's honestly insane. And again, this is from 2020, where everybody in the world thought Collins was going to lose. And again, she held on by 9 points. I think she'll hold on probably by like 2 to 5 points this Senate election. But anybody thinking like, oh, it's over, you're out of your mind. And again, looking at fundraising because cash and stuff. I'm sure Platner has more money that's not going to be shown here for sure. He probably has a couple million or tens of millions of more dollars. But as you can see, actually, if I could find it, there we go. Graham Platner raised $12 million, spent nearly $10 million, nearly 300, not 300, but $3 million on hand, cash on hand. So he has money. But Susan Collins, and again, I believe this really doesn't take into affect a lot of super PACs with all this money. She has money. I think that the establishment is going to pour a lot of money in this. And again, I'm not saying Susan Collins is going to have like $500 million, but she'll probably have a good $100 million dollars in her corner easily, if not more, possibly $200 million. And again, like there's super PACs in Maine that has tens of millions of more dollars. Because again, I remember like people saying, "Oh, she wouldn't run again." This midterm, I said there's no. I thought it would be very unlikely because she has tens of millions of dollars worth of super PACs if she decides to run again. So I thought it was unlikely, and again, she did run again. So overall, I mean, the scandals of this guy is honestly insane, and some of the ads also in Maine were pretty hard hitting. It did not go well for this guy. But again, it's like, just sexting other women, kind of go, basically cheating on his wife, and like he's on like on these weird like hookup, or not even hookup, these like weird apps that's known for suspicious things going on in sketchy stuff. And also it's just like, I'm not saying he is, obviously I honestly don't think he really is, to be honest. I don't think he's like like going for like child CP or anything. I disagree, but like this guy's a weirdo. He is kind of a creep, and this guy is like infantilizing. He's saying absolutely outrageous things on his Reddit. And again, if you don't believe me, look it up. I mean, his accounts are deleted, but like people archived his like old Reddit accounts of him just saying the most absolute insane shit. Excuse the language, but it's just true. I can't put it into words. So yeah, this guy's a carpetbagger, very overrated. And again, it's like I think Democrats are going to nominate a carpetbagger, and it's kind of too late. The primary is like a week out or a week and a half, and I think he basically has it. So again, I think Republicans will hold on to the Senate seat. I think they're going to, even like a D plus 6 or 7 year even. But I think they're likely going to. Again, Collins could still lose, but I think it's very, very unlikely. So, anyways, guys, this is the Red Politician. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Peace.